You're listening to Turi Writer's She Said What podcast. I'm Turi, along with Marcy Persky. Have you ever had that experience where you are so excited to attend a concert and then it turns out to be not at all like you'd imagined? And I explain how a hotel buffet is a lot like the British Film Institute's streaming service.
We went to Phoenix because I got us tickets to the Jonas Brothers.
You did tell me you were going to the Jonas
Yes.
Brothers. You didn't tell me it was Phoenix.
What I have learned from this excursion is that I have no capability whatsoever as to how to read a map, whether it's a driving map, but a seating map in an auditorium. Okay.
Did you get thrown out of your chair?
Oh, yeah. But not only that, we were in the very last row of the whole arena and behind the light boom.
Oh, my.
So like if you twisted your neck around like some kind of a primate animal that we're not supposed to be able to do,
Yeah.
you could see. But then as soon as they came out on stage, a very large woman sitting right in front of me stood up,
God, I hate when
And-
people do that.
never sat down.
Yeah.
And she was the only one in the whole section standing up.
And did you ask her to sit down nicely?
Well, I was gonna, and he said, "You can't do that. She's having fun." I said, "Well, I'm not having fun."
Yeah, that's what I would have said.
And the opening band was like the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. I wanted to kill myself after the opening band, and I'm even gonna give you their name. It's called the Lawrence Band because their last name was Lawrence. The Lawrence Band was, to me, like sitting through a Wiggles concert. I wanted to just take this girl out. She was just, yes, she'd make a perfect female Wiggle.
For those who don't know who the Wiggles are, you need to explain this now.
They're an Australian children's group, and it's 4 guys, and they sing about spaghetti and meatballs and weird. It's been a long time since I've had to watch the Wiggles.
This is right when I wish that we could play music in the podcast, but we'll just allow a second
Yes.
for our 2 listeners to go to YouTube and look at the Wiggles for a moment.
That's right.
Yeah, we'll
That's
give you
right.
1,000, 2, 1,000. Okay, time's up. So
But
you,
yes, this opening band was so bad. I wanted to throw myself from the very top. I mean, my back was on the back of the wall.
why
That's how.
didn't you just turn off your hearing aids?
Oh, I don't wear hearing aids to concerts. Are you kidding me?
Oh,
This was Jonas Brothers.
can I
This
just
was sold out. Girls screaming.
So instead of seeing the Jonas Brothers from your seat and the woman in front of you basically just saw Joe.
We didn't see crap, but we did see the set list, which Eve looked up on her phone. And the name of the tour is 5 albums. So Eve calls it up, and there's like 72 songs. And in the first 10 minutes, she looked at me and she said, "Okay, that's the song I wanted to hear." So we left.
No.
Yeah, we left and went back to our hotel and stuck our feet in the swimming pool and then ordered pizza and watched really old reruns of Beverly Hills 90210.
You've just covered 2 of the things that I had to ask you about today, the swimming pools and obscure old things on video. The swimming pool problem, is there any other form of exercise that you can think of where the person who's used it before you or with you can just ruin your whole experience of it? Because I can't think of any other exercise where other people can wreck your ability to exercise. Like if you're on a bike trail, you're on your bike, you're on the trail. If you're at the gym, you're using a piece of machinery, one piece of
Well,
machinery.
yeah, but if that person leaves all their sweat or if they put Vaseline on their hands, that could be pretty nasty.
Why would somebody put Vaseline on their hands and then
I
use...
don't know. I'm just thinking of an example.
So,
You asked
okay.
me a question.
But-
So Vaseline
Well, they could
comes
put
to mind.
tomato soup on it too, but what's the likelihood? So
Did someone poop in your pool?
no, apparently the super aged ladies, they have complained that the pool was too cold because they don't move around. They just kind of
They
stand there.
just stand there.
Right. And they kind of wave their arms around. So the head of the pool called, I don't know why she did this, bless her heart, she's new and I like her a lot, and she called the people who do plant maintenance or whoever you have to call, and they cranked the heat on the pool so it's like swimming in a hot tub. And
You're
we're
bathing.
fainting, like all of us, all the lap swimmers were like, is it hot? Are you all right? People were turning bright red. We're all like sweaty. We're all leaned up against the wall of the pool, just like the old ladies, but not because it's too cold. And I get out of the pool. I can't take it anymore. And I go to the front desk, and there are about 5 other people there saying, I think you really leaned on the heat a little much.
All you lap people need to just each bring 1 bucket of ice.
There's
and dump it in the pool.
I'm about ready to do it. Imagine trying to swim laps in your boiling hot bathtub. The only thing that we needed was some candles and some scented suds. We needed Gwyneth Paltrow to show up so that we could at least
her vagina candle.
Light some candles and put some fluffy goop in there. It was a bathtub with a lane line on it, and I don't know of any other sport where someone can just ruin your whole activity for you ahead of time. I don't.
Vaseline on anything, I swear. Even a croquet stick. Go flying out of your hands.
I don't want to think about what you would do with Vaseline on a croquet stick.
Pool at our little motel.
Yes.
It's only like 3 feet deep. And it had chairs in it. Like this is like a really hipster hotel, and it had like chairs built into it. So Eve and I went, and there was this guy laying in one of the chairs, and his wife had her pants rolled up and just had her feet in there, and he looked just like Jerry Garcia. And he looks at, and Eve and I sit down, and he looks at us and he says, "Don't dive." we both just started.
I like him.
He said it like really, really straight face.
I like him. Did you check his hands?
No.
Oh, but you mentioned watching those really old TV shows.
Yes.
A Facebook friend from the writing community recommended to me a foreign film. Then she said, "Oh, it's on Behemoth Prime," and I said, "Okay, I'll get it on Behemoth Prime." And it said, "Oh, to watch this movie, you have to subscribe to the British Film Institute Classics feed, but you can have 7 days free to try it out." And I normally just go, forget this. I know what'll happen. I'll forget, and then I'll be stuck with this for months and months while I try to figure out how to disconnect it.
Yeah.
But she was so emphatic that this was a wonderful movie. I said, okay. And I'm glad that I saw it. But then there's a problem that I have. Like if I go to a buffet, all you can eat anything, I realize there are people who can just take like a modest little plate, the same as they would if they were ordering in a restaurant and everything cost an amount of money.
That's me.
Right. But if I go to a buffet, I'm like, I have to try this and I have to try that. And look, you can have all the brownies you want. And I am one of those horrible Midwestern people, although I'm embarrassed about it. So I take a plate that's small and then I wait till everybody who was up there when I was up there has sat down and isn't looking. And then I go up with another plate. And then I go up and I do like a feint and I'll be like, honey, how much of this did you say you wanted? I'm getting you the mashed potatoes you asked for.
You say, remember that accident that we got into? And I can't remember any further back than 5 minutes ago. Did I eat?
Yeah.
And you just say that every time you go back.
Right. But you may be wondering what this has to do with the foreign movie.
Yes.
The same principle apparently applies to the 7-day video streaming service. Like I have 7 days to watch all the classic British art films that I can stand. Now, logically, I know that the worst that can happen is it's another $10 or $10 a month until I've had a complete gullet full of exotic British noir or whatever I think might interest me. But the game now has been set up so that I get 7 days free. So I'm now the spousal unit's away. I'm now going to sleep at like 5 in the morning. Like, I can watch this one is only an hour and a half long. It's really embarrassing. I'm like, come on, Tori, it's like $10 and you don't have to live like this. And then the other little devil voice is going, but right now you can watch all the British video you want and it won't cost you an extra dime. So I saw some obscure Orson Welles film that was supposed to be the greatest British suspense movie ever made. And it was good.
And
It was good, but I'm glad I got to watch it for free because if I'd paid $10 to watch, I would not feel like I'd gotten my money's worth. It's ruining my life, is what's happening. It's just
we have all these streamers right now because of the free days,
yeah.
and I forget.
Uh-huh.
And so I forget that I even have them. And Frankie, you can turn off your radio right now or your podcast or however you're listening to this. But like I just found out the other day that we have like Paramount Plus, and I don't even know what that is. But then I had to look it up, and I joined it for 7 free days to watch a movie.
How many years
over
ago?
Like a year and a half ago. I haven't watched it since.
Do you realize that for the money you just spent on Paramount Plus this year, you could have had some decent Jonas Brothers tickets?
I know. I thought we had good seats, but let me tell you one more thing.
Okay, and then I have
No,
a way
I'm
to make
afraid
you
of-
feel better. Okay.
You know, I'm afraid of heights, right?
Oh, yeah.
And at one point, I had to relieve myself really badly, and I had such vertigo trying to go down the stairs.
You could die.
I could have died. Yes, I could have died
You
from
fall
that.
out that balcony. I'm amazed that more people don't fall out the balcony.
Yeah, it was dark, but yeah, I had like no sense of balance on there. I'm holding on to both rails
And
like an
people,
old lady.
strangers, you're holding on to strangers. You know where it's
Yep.
even scarier? There are some Broadway theaters that have nosebleed seats and some opera houses. And it was before the days where people got sued for lots and lots of money if you died at their facility. So they
Yeah.
didn't care. They're like, screw you. You bought the cheap seats. You want to plunge to your death. This is not our problem. I've almost gone up there on my butt. I'm so scared.
Yeah. Well, good. I'm not the only one.
And I don't have a
I
normal
should
fear
have
of
gone
heights.
down on my butt.
But yeah, if you look down, you think one false move and I'm joining the violin section on my
Ugh.
head.
And all the girls would have screamed for me. This was like the worst screaming.
They
It was
would
the
have thought
loudest. It
they
was
would
so
have
awful.
thought that you were plunging to your death out of love for the Jonas
Jonas Brothers. Oh, Nick Jonas.
And that's what your obituary would have said. Killed herself over the Jonas Brothers. So, okay, this will make you feel better about getting the
Okay.
seats that turned out to have their back against the wall. We wanted to take the kids to the big, beautiful outdoor classical music place, Ravinia, which is in the woodsy, wealthy northern
Beautiful.
suburbs. Well, that's how I remembered it. We used to live right near it. I used to be
Yeah.
able to sneak through the fence. I heard that the Chicago Public Library had free tickets to Ravinia to a concert because I guess they wanted all the poor, benighted, deprived Chicagoans who, of course, can't find our way to our own symphony orchestra or our own lyric opera or our own Grant Park Symphony Orchestra. But I don't want to feel like I'm depriving my children. So I arranged for them not to go to Little League that one night, which is almost like
Ooh.
sacrilege in my
I'm
husband's
surprised the
eyes.
spousal unit let you do that.
Well, I had really sung the praises of this whole experience. I had to go to 3 different libraries to get the tickets. And then we went up there with our picnic. We spread out our blanket on the grassy lawn. We didn't have tickets in the pavilion. We had the tickets on the lawn, and they have speakers outside. And I said to the kids, now you can go up over the hill and see the orchestra. And it was misting. It was a little bit rainy,
Yeah.
drizzly, gray. There weren't a lot of people on the lawn. All the other people who'd gone to every other Chicago Public Library, I guess. And the kids come back and they say, there's nobody on the stage.
What?
That's what I said. What? There's nobody on the stage? And they said, no, there's nobody. I said, where's this music coming from? That's ridiculous. You go all the way up there. They said, no, we went all the way up there. The concert pavilion is empty and there's nobody on the stage. And that's when I noticed that they have this small interior theater where you can pay $1 zillion for tickets and see like the small orchestra. And those of you who want to sit on the lawn and listen to speakers of what's going on inside their little closed, locked theater, the poor and the unwashed can sit on the grass in the rain.
It's awful.
Yeah, it was awful. And I've never gone back, but I was so mortified. The kids were like, we can't see. I'm like, no, sorry, mommy effed up.
Nice.
Yeah, nice if you pay $400 for a ticket. Crappy if you go to 4 Chicago public libraries. I'm not going to do that anymore. So there, now you know, and I hope it helps.
A little.
Assuming you've come this far because you enjoy the podcast, may we recommend my book, She Said What? A Life on the Air. It's available at your neighborhood bookstore or on Amazon. And if you're feeling especially generous, please leave the podcast a good review. Thanks.